This video is centered around how to adjust your CPAP settings. If you were to go for an in-lab sleep study to figure out what CPAP settings would work for you to resolve your obstruction, this is what the technician who's tasked with finding that would do while you were sleeping. These are the general guidelines. There is some variance between technicians, I'm sure, but this is what ResMed suggests. The first question here, is the patient having obstructive events? Yes? Okay, then increase the CPAP pressure by 1 centimeter every 5 or more minutes that there are obstructive apneas, hypopneas, RERAs, or at least 3 minutes of loud, unambiguous snoring. So if there's any of those things, then the technician will increase your CPAP by 1 centimeter. This is important. The reason I'm making this video is because you can literally just substitute 5 minutes with one night, right? You may not have someone to sit there and monitor you while you sleep and change your CPAP settings, but you can change your CPAP settings between nights. Then you continue monitoring yourself after you've increased the pressure by 1, and you repeat. So if the next night you also have obstructive apneas, hypopneas, RERAs, or 3 minutes of loud or unambiguous snoring, you increase CPAP pressure again by 1 centimeter. Then it says here, consider trial of bi-level if obstructive events persist at a pressure of 15 centimeters or higher. So it's basically saying it's a good idea at around 15 centimeters to switch from CPAP to BiPAP, because a lot of patients will actually do better. What if we're having central apneas though? Decrease the CPAP by 1 centimeter, or even less. It doesn't have to be a centimeter. You can increment it, but these are the guidelines. And wait 20 minutes. And once again, instead of 20 minutes, you're just going to have to wait a night and then look at your data again. Hopefully an Oscar, which I have videos on, of course. And then consider ResMed's adaptive servo ventilation machine, which is a fancy, sophisticated PAP machine, if central apneas continue. So, pretty straightforward, right? Okay, what about for BiPAP? So the first question is, has a patient been on CPAP therapy? If not, put the settings at 8 for IPAP and 4 for EPAP. Remember, IPAP is the pressure on breathing in, EPAP is the pressure on breathing out. If the patient has tried CPAP, then start the settings at IPAP 4 centimeters above EPAP, and EPAP, remember the pressure when you're exhaling, put it to the CPAP level at which obstructive apneas were eliminated. Then it says, okay, if you still have obstructive apneas, increase EPAP by 1 centimeter every 5 minutes. Or in your guys' case, if you're doing this at home, increase EPAP by 1 centimeter every night if you're still seeing obstructive apnea. Increase IPAP at the same time to maintain whatever pressure differential you have. Then it says, okay, if obstructive apneas are resolved, then if you still have hypopneas, RERAs, or snoring, increase IPAP by 1 centimeter every 5 minutes or more, or in your case, every night. So if you're on bi-level and you've resolved all the obstructive apneas, but you still have either hypopneas, RERAs, or snoring, then increase IPAP by 1 centimeter every night. Then it says, okay, are there central apneas? Yes. Decrease pressure to a previous setting. Watch for 20 minutes. Or, in your guys' case, decrease pressure to a previous setting. Observe for 1 night. You can keep doing this, but obviously once you get to too low of a pressure, you're not resolving the obstructive apneas. If the centrals persist, then consider spontaneous time therapy, ASV therapy, or IVAPs. This is also interesting as well. So if oxygen saturation levels are below 90%, even though all the events have been resolved, then it says increase IPAP by 1 centimeter every 15 minutes or so until we're above 90. Or in your guys' case, increase IPAP by 1 centimeter every night until your oxygen is staying above 90%. If that doesn't work, then you follow sleep lab protocols for adding oxygen to your PAP therapy, which is something we'll save for another video. The takeaway here is that you can basically replace every X minutes for every night and do this yourself. Now, I'm not a doctor, blah, 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 disclaimer, but these are the clinician guidelines provided by ResMed. I realize this is probably becoming insufferable at this point, but let me repeat the crucial principle which I'm always trying to impart on you, which is these are generalized guidelines. You're an individual. Medicine should be patient-specific and tailored. And so these troubleshooting guidelines may not work for you. It's not the end of the world. There are other avenues that we can explore, some of which I hope together. And we'll figure it out. So don't despair. I hope there's some actionable advice here that serves you. And there's a squirrel over there. Hi. You can't manage what you don't know. So download Oscar, start collecting your data, learn to interpret it. If you don't want to interpret it, Post it on some of the forums. They like to do it. I'm over there too. I like to do it. So everyone wins. Good luck, and I'll see you in the comment section. So we don't have a parasocial relationship forever.